see everybody talking like they doing what we doing. But these brothers is rare and they ain't moving like we moving. And everywhere we go, when we walking, women choosing. Don't hate, it's alright. So don't hate, it's alright. So don't hate.
It's all right.
Like a blonde chick. I'm not Rick James. I'm James Bond, bitch. I live my life
What
like
up,
a
dog?
What's up? Happy Wednesday, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey.
What's the good
Happy
word?
Wednesday. Is it Wednesday yet, y'all?
Man, it's Wednesday.
We finally made it.
We made it.
They call it hump day. They call it hump day.
That's right. That's right.
That means
it's good
for different folks.
It's good to see y'all faces. It's good to see y'all faces, handsome men.
Listen, man, this is my last week getting to look like I don't have nowhere to go and nowhere to be. That's it. That's all I got. I've been holding on to it too. Straight up. I've been holding on to it.
Yeah, you off vacation next week, right?
Hey,
back into the real world with the rest of us.
I'm trying to,
back slowly, to the hood of things, huh? Back to the hood of things.
I'm trying to slowly acclimate myself, if that, what I'm saying, makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah. Well, even when you're not to the T, you still to the T. You know what I'm saying? You feel me, Scotty?
Man, Scotty gonna make, man, he be doing that, man. Scotty gonna make it pop one way or the other.
Look at him. He like,
nah, man, listen, I just try to, find me a little dark corner.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Whatever,
sit back,
man.
Make sure everybody else is good, man.
If he step in a dark corner, y'all, he gonna light it up. That's Knox City. I call him Knox City because Knox is bright lights, big city.
Hey man, do not.
We both know Scott. Scott ain't in a dark corner type of guy. You are not a dark corner kind of guy. That's not Scott.
That's why,
man. We listen, man. We all mature, and you know what I'm saying. Start to do other things as we get older.
Right? Yeah.
That's just where I am in life. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, y'all?
Okay.
He
real Alfred Hitchcock about life, right?
Man,
now.
He really is committed to this one, y'all. He is not breaking character or form. I'm just gonna give it up to him. I'm gonna let him have it.
I'm an old man.
Wow. Well, you did just have a birthday, so happy belated birthday for those who did not know.
Brother.
Yeah.
He was working doing that too, man.
The world don't stop because they, you know what I'm saying. They say that's how I go. You know what I'm saying.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I want to say what's up to the viewers, man. What's up? What's up? Is it Wednesday yet, Nation? You know what I'm saying?
Going on.
Get some comments popping.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Hey, so what he mean, everybody? He's saying it's slick. I'll say it for our academic crew out there. If you would, please do not hesitate to go into the comments section, share laughters, emojis, any responses you may have to any of the content that we may share with you. We really appreciate you being here and your engagement. Thank you very much.
Wow, you were so professional. Felt like I was at work for a second on a Zoom call meeting.
That is funny.
I had to work at that, man. I had to work at that. For real.
That's
all right. What we doing? What we doing today? What we doing?
Man, I wanted to, with all the serious things going on in the world, I thought I had a little light video to review. So we'll start here, man, and then we can move around as.
So this gonna be a light video.
Just a little something light. I believe something light. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Real light. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Here we go. We'll rock and roll. Y'all can let me know what y'all think. All right.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
Brother Butler. Brother Butler.
Yes. How can I help you?
I need you to come to the front of the congregation.
We need you to address the church.
We need you to come. We need you to come talk to some of these members, brother.
Please report to the altar.
I will be there, and I'd be like, over in the recession hall. We got the window. We got the window of prosperity. I'll be manning that. So once you go through the door, you got to come through the window to get you a double portion today.
Since you wanna be stupid.
Hey, let's don't stop the prosperity at the door. He said through windows, doors, and I'm gonna have a closet open over on 123 Street. Okay, we're gonna do it on. Come on, man.
From the window to the wall.
Man,
let all your money fall.
Oh no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Listen, on a serious note, that video, we laugh, but it makes me. I have to laugh to keep from crying and being sad. It's saddening to see that, like, people are referred to as sheep in the Bible, and that was a perfect demonstration of sheep being sheepish. It's crazy. That's my. I can't understand it. I don't get it. I have not created the neuron pathways that I can properly comprehend or calculate operating and moving in that sense.
I will say this. I don't think greed necessarily has a color or a religion or a culture. I think it's it goes wherever it can flourish. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I feel like there are people who really depend on their religion. It's a crutch of what they believe. And I think sometimes, and a lot of times, I don't even think if people are in situations where they are being taken advantage of, I think a lot of times they don't even realize they're being taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? I just think that sometimes when people feel like they can connect with something, then it's okay to give your money to a cause you can connect to, or that you feel like, you know what I'm saying, something positive is happening with. But I feel like a lot of times, it bothers me if I believe when I see something like people are being taken advantage of. That's the only thing that sucks. And it doesn't matter what form or fashion. When you watch a lot of pastors, who are, syndicated or whatnot, like I said, no matter what color they are, you know what I'm saying? There's enough religion on television on a Sunday morning where that there's enough to go around and everybody to watch whatever they want to watch and feel comfortable with whatever they watch. And if they're not physically going, to television. So I think that, and now, man, since the fact that we are still adjusting from COVID, for some people, I think, people, man, are really looking for those in-person experiences, man. So that's a very, very, very interesting situation that you had a door of prosperity.
Right. Sound like it. I mean, hustle is first thing came to my mind. But Adrian, let's hit the comments.
Let's get these comments real quick. Danielle C. Hey y'all, what country was that video shot in? Just curious.
Lady.
What's going on, Danielle?
No research done on the
Crazy.
video. I picked it and played it. I can't tell you.
We know what country that was.
Yeah,
And
that was definitely in the
credit lady be
continent.
knowing. Credit lady,
Yeah,
put it in the comments. You know what country that was.
yeah, we know where that was. I think we're all aware of that. It's just unfortunate that to piggyback on what Scott said, that a lot of people are sheep, and a lot of people just follow what they see. And a lot of people want something to believe in. They want to be able to connect to something. They want to believe in it. They're desperate. They may be in a very strenuous financial situation or health situation where they feel like, oh my God, I have to do this. Walk through the door of prosperity. This is going to, I'm going to be blessed by giving. I'm going to be blessed by this. And this is what I need to do. It's unfortunate because a lot of times they're just being taken advantage of. It's fraud. It's fraudulent. They're being taken advantage of. And I just feel like people need to use more discernment with certain things and not just fall. I feel like anytime someone is telling you, you need to give me money in order for you to be blessed,
to get money,
to receive this, you're being taken advantage of. That's not that most times. That's just not the case. And people just got to be smarter. You have to be smarter.
And it gives a bad name for a lot of places that are out here really doing things, positive.
Minister Short is in the building. That's who we need to. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Come on, Jeff Short, Mr. He's a minister. So I'm gonna let Knox finish, and then
I was just gonna say like I remember when I used to work for the water department, man, and I found out about like a lot of the churches that made pledges and paid for people's, electricity and water and stuff like that. So, things like that I didn't even realize existed. You know what I mean? So, like I said, when you see stuff like this, it just, it just lets you know that, everybody is, I don't think, executing or doing, what they're doing for the right reasons. Unfortunately, like you said, Butler, hustle.
Yeah, hustle.
So, and I would say this: it's difficult. Knox said something very important. This, people who misappropriate funds that they get from their congregation. They give a bad name to the churches who are doing the things that Knox also mentioned, as they are taking care of the congregation. They're filling in the gaps, helping those that are in need, making sure that they're creating an environment, a system, and programs that help feed the congregation, not only spiritually, but mentally, psychologically, emotionally. And this is the thing I think is missing in many cases, financially. So to kind of address that, and Adrian mentioned, people need something to believe in, and that is true. There has to be something, in my personal opinion, there is a need for a certain level of faith, because the sun, in one of my favorite books, says that the rain falls on the just and the unjust alike. And really, in my favorite book also mentions one of the wisest people in there, kind of came to a conclusion and said, hey man, your favorite gift from the Most High is work, is to have purpose, have something to do. And financial literacy is in my favorite book. And the thing is you have to, I ain't saying save, but you got to find out what the financial vehicles, what is the financial movement and flows of the area you're in, right? So if we're talking about the United States, you need to understand the inner and outer workings of capitalism. How do you take your money and make more money? So if that's in investing. If that is putting it into a business and creating those streams of income, taking those actions, real life, realistic ways that you put something in and then it comes out and it produces something, like throwing money in. You're walking through the door of prosperity, throwing money to the church. Now, and then here it goes from a business standpoint, because even as a church, it's tax exempt.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not denote where that money is for, whether it's like a pastoral fund, or this is going to the building fund, or this is supposed to be for a certain program, that money can be used any kind of way that it wants to, and it's not going to be taxed, and it doesn't have to be written down in the books. A pastor or maybe the leaders can all say that this is just the divided gift that was given to the church, right? And so you have to really denote where the money is going. Otherwise, it can go anywhere and be misappropriated. However, as Knox said, there are some people who will take that and reinvest it in the church or reinvest it in the congregation. Now, there may be some churches. I hadn't ran across one yet. I would love for Minister Short to jump in and see how he felt about it. Hopefully he caught the video. If he didn't, we might do a quick rerun so he could see. But when you do that, the things that I charge them up about, and I'll hush, is what's missing in those situations. Now, this is where I would say a door of prosperity would make sense for me. They're walking through the door of prosperity. Everyone's putting that money in a pot. That money would be taken, putting into a mutual fund, and the dividends that are generated over time from that mutual fund is then distributed to the congregation. And that's helping them make money. Because if you want prosperity, you better learn how to make your money make money and put your money in places where it's going to get you out of the circumstances you're in. So we can talk, the church is definitely a place for your soul and salvation. And I won't go too deep into that because it'll be really offensive to individuals. But another aspect that can be added on to that, if you don't want to see people suffering financially, then you institute some financial literacy. You don't want to see your congregation, people are not homeowners, then won't you get a home buying program? If you're going to be a part of this congregation, a part of this church, you got not only go through that new membership orientation, you need to go through a financial literacy orientation. You need to go through an investment, mutual investment group orientation. This is a mutual fund that the church has that pays back dividends to the congregation. But I hadn't heard of that yet. Then somebody say, well, Butler, if you'd like that, then won't you create it? I'm not a minister. I can't get involved in the institution of it. That's a whole different thing. I would never tell people not to go to church. Go where you feel like you're being spiritually fed. But I see that aspect of it not there, and too much of this type of thing happening and misappropriations going on.
I could dig it. I could dig it, Brother Butler.
Okay, so Jeff did come back and say people are biblically illiterate, and there are too many people deceiving the flock by saying, in order to be blessed, you have to sow a seed. Honestly, I'm not into tithing. Okay.
Really? Hold on, that's big, y'all. Well, because I don't think y'all like this is a minister of a church. I like it. I'm like, okay.
Not into tithing. Okay. All right. Ask for financial statements and how your money is being used. That's exactly the thought that I was, that I was having. I feel like in any situation, whenever you're giving money to something, you're giving it to your bank, you're investing it, whatever you're doing with your money, you have a way to trace that money. You know where it is, what it's being used for. It should be the same thing with churches. If you are tithing or you are donating money or giving money to the church, you should be able to see how your money is working for the church.
Do nonprofits have to post their books? Does anybody know?
Some of them do. It depends on the type of nonprofit it is.
Okay. I was just curious if that's
they have to have because any organization has to have a board. A board that's over it, and they ask for that. And if you get, and then any organization that would donate into your, and this is where it gets tricky with churches versus just nonprofits, is because I think they even have their own tax bracket or their own tax law for churches person. But I think they may be grouped in with nonprofits as well. You're right, Knox. So with that being said, on a nonprofit, you have to show it and show where your money is going. But within the church, they don't show it within the church, within the members. Because if you get cash and it hasn't, there's no documentation of how it was. So for example, I don't know if you've ever been to a church where, like, if the pastor say something, it's a good word, they just walk up and throw money on the thing, that goes straight to the pastor. Now he can take that, pick it up, and go buy him, go buy him whatever he wants to buy with that. If he doesn't have an agreement with the deacon or the leaders of the church,
Right.
and take that money and give it to them and say, hey man, put this in this fund or that fund. They can really do what they want to, just depending on the individual.
Yeah. Now I can see that situation where you're just giving money to the pastor, you know, in that situation where he's preaching and you're just like, yes, I want to bless you. But when you're tithing every week, you know, and you're paying your whatever your percentage is into the church, there needs to be some way where the members can track that money and know what it's being used for, know where it's going, you know, and there is no accountability for
Right.
when you're tithing into the church.
Right. And you correct me, Pastor Short, if I'm wrong on this interpretation, because what he said was huge. He says people are biblically illiterate, and what he means is like tithing is not what we were programmed to think that it was with this money circumstance. Tithing was done according to that time period. It's been flipped, and he may correct me on this. I'm not saying I'm correct. I'm just using what I think is the key element. So when he talked about people being biblically illiterate, not understanding really what tithes were and really the purposes of that tithing. And then he said there are too many people deceiving the flock, and by saying in order to be blessed, you have to sow a seed. He says honestly, he's not into tithing. And the reason he's saying that is because if you read it biblically, it really gives you the instructions on how that works.
And he did follow up with saying that tithing has nothing to do with money.
Boom.
Preachers are quick to quote Malachi 3, and it's been taken out of context.
Out of context. Boom. He said it. And there's somebody who know the word, study the word, probably if it ain't about the word, he ain't dealing with.
So yeah, I think that people should read their Bible and get a full understanding of what it is that they're actually doing with their money when it comes to these churches and not be taken advantage of. Because if that was in Africa, which it looked like it was, that video, we already know the financial circumstances of a lot of people in that country, and that they already don't have a lot. For them to be pouring their money into a scam, into being hustled, you know what I mean?
Because them people look like you know, and I don't because like what we have this image of Africa, but Africa balling, man. They got
Africa is the richest continent in the world. We all know that.
It's got these hot spots of modernism and everybody is well off to do. Now they have a better cost of living, and I think it's just sensible over there. You know what I mean? But
that's certain parts of it. Yeah, that's certain parts of it. From that video, it didn't look like that was one of the areas that was better off. It looks like it's one of the areas that people constantly take advantage of. They take advantage of people's vulnerability and their need. And the need that people have, which we know our country milks Africa for everything that they have, you know, simply because we can. And
every country
of that continent do it to their own people all the time, and that's exactly what was going on. So, you know,
but that really looked. But tell me the truth, because that whole scene had United States feel all over it.
Did it? Hey, they learned from somewhere, right?
That looked like a United States,
a very good what they call that impersonation.
Man, they complimented the hell out of Jim Baker, some other ones that I probably should name drop, probably get it, but I mean, but you know what? I won't, y'all, because it's documented and it's out there, so I'm not spilling the beans on anything because they did get in trouble for the financial circumstances.
Do I have an opportunity to go into another video or?
Yeah, we can. We don't got to belabor that, but I mean, those points you made, like people need to study and show themselves approved, and also understanding. He mentioned it in the comments. Malachi 3, it's misquoted. Do your own study on it. Understand that. Most importantly, go and ask for the financials.
Know where your money is going.
Know where your money is going.
Yeah, know where it's going.
Anytime,
you're investing in anything,
anytime you spend it.
Anytime you're investing in anything, you need to know where your money is going.
Hey, this is
don't be taking advantage of
a church. You know what I'm saying? That's in and outside of church too. I'm saying so you should be on top of it.
Jeff also says, I have issue with churches focusing on building new sanctuaries, but not doing outreach in those same communities.
Come with it.
Mhm.
Come with it.
Mm.
Pastor Short.
Well, like I said, I'm
Short
not.
and straight to the point. I
know.
love it.
I know the demonstration was a church, but I just, like I said, anybody who is, showing people one thing and doing something else, man, it just, let's.
Man, just a sophisticated 3-card Monty. That's investing
Yeah,
in these
yeah.
identities and all these other money market companies that tell you to do that. And I'm gonna tell you, if it sounds too good to be true, 9 times out of 10, it is.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Right. No, y'all right.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all, man. Hey, Pastor Short, I appreciate you coming through, man.
Yes.
With the information tonight.
Clutch. That was clutch.
Yeah, that was.
That was not planned at all. That was
at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
No. So we'll go into the next video, I suppose.
Yeah, man.
What you got for us, Scotty?
I want to throw this one out.
Right.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Welcome to Cognify, a facility designed to treat criminals like patients. Instead of spending years in an actual prison cell, prisoners could finish their sentence here in just a few minutes. Cognify could someday create and implant artificial memories directly into the prisoner's brain. These complex, vivid, and lifelike memories are created in real time using AI-generated content. Depending on the seriousness of the subject's crime and their sentence, the memories could be tailored to the rehabilitation needs of each subject. The artificial memories implanted by Cognify would be seamlessly incorporated into the existing neural networks of the brain, preventing cognitive dissonance and ensuring the subject experiences the memories as if they were real. The Cognify concept offers a new approach to criminal rehabilitation, transforming how society deals with offenders by focusing on rehabilitation rather than punishment. First, the prisoner.
Wow,
So,
interesting.
What's the first thought that comes to your mind after you see that?
AI scares me.
AI scares you, brother. What about you?
Like anything, questions. I'm like, there's a question of the, of human rights involved in that. Is there any coverage if something goes wrong in that space? And then also, man, could this really, because we talk about our prison system being correctional facilities, but they don't seem to be correcting a damn thing.
Yeah.
The people go in and come out worse than they went in. They come out more knowledgeable on the wrong things to do. They have new hustles, new hustle, new muscle, new struggle. You know what I mean? So if what we're doing is, and then also I thought, well, what we're doing is not working. So do we need to be open to trying something new?
So here's my first immediate quick thought. What if I ain't do it?
There you go. Because that's a big problem. There are a lot of people who didn't do it.
What if you give me memories, or you give me the other person version of whatever happened, and I ain't do it?
Yeah,
that's right there.
Crazy.
Right there. That's
the first thing that I think.
Man,
of,
man. That'll put a halt, I think, to it.
I would hope that with technology being that advanced, to be able to implement something like that there would be certainty in the guilt of the person that they are sentencing, right? Because, I will hope that at that point, that's going to be a while from now, because you're thinking about just the thought of transferring a person's memories that the crime happened to another person to punish them. That's beyond our years already. So just thinking about that, we would hope that the system would be better enough. If y'all can do that, y'all can make sure that you're actually punishing the person that actually committed the crime. You have the right person.
But should it be about punishment, or should it be about rehabilitation?
Well, either way, right? It's broken the way it is
It's broken
now,
the
so
way
it
it
don't
is.
matter. But
We got
but
any comments?
before it
Uh,
even
I'm
before we
sorry,
even
not
go, no, it's all good.
okay. What is that? First off, man.
oh
And
no, I
Credit
feel
lady,
you,
talk your talk,
Danielle.
talk your
that's
talk, credit
I
lady.
feel you. Yeah.
well, I
Hey, I
believe in the
told you.
credit lady, so I
What if I
appreciate
ain't do
y'all
it? That's
catching
my
that.
first thing. Hey, and here's another thing, man. Like, when do the nightmares stop?
Hey,
Like, what if they? What if
Sentence,
yeah.
they?
you
What if
know.
something? What I put down? What if something breaks? You know what I'm saying? What it's like? Because
Like
I,
what?
I'm like, what if something break? Like,
Like what if I'm only supposed to have nightmares for 2 years and they don't stop for 20?
It might feel like that long though.
Like every day is Groundhog Day. Remember Groundhog Day? You remember the movie Groundhog Day?
Yeah, I do.
yeah. But you know
Yeah.
what, man? I'm gonna say this. I don't want to just debate all of the possibilities. So if you really could rehabilitate someone in a short amount of time, let's say they do a heinous crime, and we can shift and adjust their thinking process, um, do something to change where they won't do those type of things again. Let's just say we're getting the right people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I would feel good about that, because what we really do truly want is people to be rehabilitated and to be able to enter back into society so that they can fulfill what the possibilities and potential that they have as a human being. You know
Well,
what I mean?
let
Do
me
you
ask
feel
you
like
this.
there's any?
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
go
Go
ahead. No,
ahead,
no, no.
Scott.
Please, no. Ask your question
Do
first.
you feel that there are certain crimes that people should not be able to enter back into society
I knew you was thinking what I was
for?
thinking. That's why I
Yeah,
said go ahead and say it.
because I do. I think there's just certain things that you need to stay locked up for.
So you saying
Um,
basically, if you are found guilty of certain crimes, you need to go ahead and sit that whole thing out.
yeah, you need to go ahead. You take somebody's life purposely. You need to
Well,
go ahead and set that. Ain't no rehabilitation. That life is never coming back that you
Yeah, I
took.
got to
it,
put. Yeah, you do anything to women or kids, I kind of
Yeah,
my sympathy bone be like,
yeah.
clicking
Kids, like
in.
you can't have
you
you.
know, here's the tough part about
Mm.
rehabilitation. You have to first
Or the
want to
elderly.
be rehabilitated. You know what I'm
Say
saying?
that again, Knox.
The first part of rehabilitation is you have to want to be rehabilitated. I know I'm going
Bars,
completely to the left, but it
bars.
reminds me of last week, right?
Mhm.
I'm watching the home run derby, and I'm listening to this young lady perform, and as she's singing, right, her voice starts
Oh, brother.
making
Mm.
sounds and scratching and stuff, right? And I'm thinking to myself, right, like I honestly couldn't believe they didn't boo her. I thought Texas might have booed her because they don't
I
really
think
play
no. I
about
heard
they
some. I heard some. Wait a
they,
minute. You're like
they don't they
it
don't
wasn't
play
no
about their
cheers.
national anthem. Yeah, they don't play about their national
Not
anthem. But
Texas, man. Them
but
boys.
I will tell you this: when you watch the replay, the thing that's funny is somebody was smart enough to just pan to different shots of the field and not her because they realized what was going on.
They say this.
But
They have it.
I said that to say, right? Like I feel like that's the automatic move, right? Like, oh, I'm I'm going to rehab, right? And I do feel like there's nothing wrong with rehabilitation. But I feel like that's a private thing, right? Like, for example, if that young lady really has an issue where she is getting, having so much to drink that she can't keep up her obligations and she really needs rehab, right? I
Oh, you didn't
under
give us that. Well, you didn't give us that part. So she was inebriated when she did that.
Oh yeah,
That's what
well
she
that's
said.
that yeah,
That's what she said.
she said that she was going to rehab. She had too much to drink. So all I'm saying is knowing that you had too much to drink, and if you drinking so much that you are, missing obligations, I'm cool with.
She should have missed that obligation.
I just think that I don't know, man. I just think that like certain things is cool to be private about, and I know that she made a mistake, But I don't know if you automatically owe that to anybody the next day to be like, and I'm going to rehab, or I checked myself into a rehab. You know what I'm saying?
You know that was a media play. That was a media play to kind of.
But that's my
point.
But that's my point, right? That's what I'm saying, right? Like, our 50% is really wanting to go get help, right? So, is it if it's a media play? Are you really trying to go get help?
No,
you know what I'm saying.
So if you really had, was that a neck? Okay, this had to happen for me to realize that I need that.
Possibly.
I don't even think it go down like that.
I mean, sometimes, man, you never know, because I think that it's, you know how that is, man. Like that's
Adrian's thing. Shame.
Bring back shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
I mean, something like if somebody has a substance abuse issue, I think that it's a little different. Yeah, you can't shame a person that has a addiction problem. I mean, you can shame them.
Why you push out?
You can shame them, but again, that's I feel like that's one of those things where sometimes
shame can get you out of your addiction.
Let me ask you this question.
Well, I know. Have you ever shamed a drug addict or alcoholic? Have you ever tried to shame one?
Wait. Here's my question. What is the statute of limitations like if you used to have like a substance abuse, or like how?
Wait.
What's the statute
of limitation on what?
Like,
where people won't talk to you as that anymore. Like
what? Like
if you got clean, right?
Well, all the
what's the statute
paperwork stuff right now?
No.
Once you're an addict, you're always an addict. Is what?
Okay, so that's true.
So there is no statute of limitation.
So there is but I find that crazy, right? Like, why not? There's a statute of limitations on everything else.
But the difference is that the addicts, they are actively every day fighting that addiction that they have. They're actively every day making the choice not to do it. And it's a work that they have to do every single day. It's not like they just, one day it just go away and they're like,
I feel like in America,
what's up, Ryan? I want to make sure we acknowledge Ryan real quick.
Hey, Ryan.
I feel like in America, if you apologize for it, people can use it against you. If you never really be like,
they're gonna use it against you anyway, bro.
You think
people gonna talk about you regardless, man.
But I feel like the energy is different when it's like, see, Jeff Women. What if I ain't do it? What if I ain't do it? You give me these memories I don't deserve to see, or something I would have never done.
Yeah, but I feel like at that point,
how you be on probation? Like, how you be on probation if you just giving me images?
There is no probation.
There is no probation. That boy brought up a whole
probation
that ain't even existed. Agent, read that.
The prison system is big on business, so I don't. This quick fix. Think there's a quick fix going to cut. Yeah, as far as rehabilitation, they're banking on
recidivism.
Yeah.
That was a great point.
That's true.
They ain't gonna let you cut into that bread. Well,
we know that prison systems are some of the biggest
and trick
businesses
in
the country.
Well, anytime you privatize anything, you know what I'm saying? It opens up the can of where anybody can get in.
Yeah, you can.
So,
that's a great point. I don't think they you know how many businesses was shut down. There are multi-million, billion-dollar companies who
use prisoners
that are vendors.
Man, listen,
for these
prisoners,
the laundry, the cleaning, the detergent they use, the soap, the food, who makes the bars for them, who come in and does repairs. Correctional officers, that would not be necessary to have that many. So,
and the work that the prisoners do,
for low wages,
they are making things for businesses.
right now, those who making money on that, they are not passing any legislation. They're gonna fight it. They are not allowing that to happen.
And the cost of something like that is astronomical.
You think
So
so?
I do. Especially for the amount of people that's in the prison system, to have them put into these chambers. You saw how technical those chambers were.
But I think, but with the time, they saying it don't take nothing. They can spend years and it'll take minutes. You can get through them in enough time. But here's the deal, because the number is astronomical on what it costs to fund a prison, to run a prison right now, too. And people coming in, they have overcrowding. They got some people in prisons that, like, as much as I hate people that there are some people that belong in that. They just got to suffer that because they put too much effort on other people. But I'm like, dang, man, wait a minute. Come on. You can't have them just walking around.
Yeah, and how do they choose which people get that punishment? Like, what's the crimes that have to be committed for them to get that punishment of being inserted with other people's memories? And is that really a punishment? I feel like it's only a punishment if you give them the memories of the crime while it happened.
Well, but that's what they're saying. They're gonna give you that the victims
of the actual okay. I thought they was like giving you the victims like life.
No, like the victim's point of view of the crime.
Okay, of the crime. Okay.
But I will say this though, right?
Wow,
like if you could give them these views, and we don't know how it's gonna affect them, but at the end of the day, you like, I think it's all just a matter of, at some point, I think the goal is to not make the prison system be so heavy on taxpayer dollars. That's the bottom line of this, right? So the question is, if you're open to this, what else might you be open to? You know what I'm saying? Just on a whole societal level, like, what else are we?
Because if it works for the prison system, why would we do this for performance enhancing, or the husband now get to feel what it's like to give birth to the mother, and
or schools, or the school system, actual school.
Can we really go in the matrix? Like, now I know
exactly.
I know how to fly the plane. Let's get it. You know what I'm talking about?
Now, exactly. I'm a Michelin star chef. Again, that's Pandora box. Like, when you open up the box,
Pandora.
So one thing,
Pandora's box.
Yeah, Pandora's box.
It's a bad summer gun. But that was good. That was good. What else we got?
I got one more. We ready?
We ready.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, Jeff just shut down the whole prison thing. He was like, man, they ain't finna lose their bread.
They want that money.
All right, here we go.
Whose idea was it? Was it your idea?
It was my idea. Because 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I'm an entertainer. And this is my best friend ever. And what I did not want to do was be dishonest with my best friend. There may be times I may want to be with other men. And my best friend said to me, Mama, I've loved you since the 10th grade. Do you think you being with another man is going to have anything to do with me loving you? And then he said, well, if you can be with other men, I can be with other women. I said, well, that's not what I meant now. That's not what I meant. But it was my idea, because I wanted to be open and honest with the person that I was going to spend the rest of my life with.
I think that's amazing. And a lot of people think that that's novel, and y'all church people are going to have a heart attack. Monique is from Baltimore with me. So I believed in open marriage. I just forgot to tell my ex-wife about it.
Shawan, you want to come to the front of the congregation?
Hey, no, Jeff was the first. Jeff, tell us, man, what's going on here, man?
Pandora box. Listen,
go ahead.
I do believe that there is no right way to do a marriage. There is no, this is how a marriage is supposed to be.
Okay.
I don't believe that. I believe that if two people decide that this is what they want to do in their marriage, and they are open and honest with one another,
Mm-hmm.
and they are on the same page, and there are rules and expectations within whatever it is that they're doing in their marriage, they should be able to do it. And we
Okay.
should not judge
Right on.
them.
Okay.
We shouldn't judge them. Is it for me? But I wouldn't judge somebody if that's what they decide to do in their marriage, because again, it's too much. This is how you're supposed to do this. This is how. No, there is no right or wrong way. Well, I mean, there is wrong ways, but if two people are in a marriage and they decide, hey, I'm honest about what I want, you're honest about what you want, let's figure out how we can do this where we can both be happy and still sustain our marriage, have a healthy marriage, and be successful in it. If that's what they need to do that, then who am I to judge them? You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I would say I was rowing. So I was like, okay, I'm in the canoe. I'm rowing with it right now. But
I was rowing.
Because if you'd have said somebody be like, I got to get off the boat. I got to get off the boat. But that was okay. I feel it. I really ain't got much to say because I happen to believe the same thing. I mean, what works for one may not work for another.
Exactly.
And then I can appreciate the complete honesty with your partner, especially someone you're intending to spend the rest of your life with. And it really just depends on where do your values, principles, and beliefs lie, and where they come from. So with that being said, I kind of agree with you, Adrian. What works for one may not work for another. And what works for you two is what does. The only caveat I would add in there is if what you're doing doesn't spill over and trip and trick off what somebody else got doing in their lane, then do your thing. But if what you're doing it involves you messing with anybody else's way of doing their thing, situation,
right?
Then we have a problem. So as long as
that's why I said it should be rules and expectations in whatever it is you decide to do. Don't be messy. Don't be messing up other people's relationship because yours is built differently and you can do things differently and move differently. But
I don't know how it would, but
to each his own. Yeah, to each his own. Like if you happy, if y'all truly happy,
but
with that situation,
my caveat is that long as it's in line with your values, your principles, and your beliefs.
Yep.
Now, when I'll go ahead and say it. Now, if you're let's say if you're a member of the Prosperity Door Church of, I'm just playing.
This man said the Prosperity Door.
So, but if you're a part of a congregation and their belief system in that church and their bylaws that say we're going to follow the premise that it's one man, one woman, you can't come in there and start trying to tell them we can be members of it. Nah, just go on somewhere else where they're okay with that. And I think it's too much of trying to force other people to accept your thing instead of letting them have their thing. Again, as long as it doesn't step into your situation, as long as your situation doesn't step into other people's, because they have the right to have their own values, principles, and belief system. Knox, what you got for us?
You know what, man? I think that my only issue with it really is like, I think she used the word weak. Was it like weak people or something? Only people bothered by
posed the question. Under this circumstance,
is she a boss
chick or
is he a weak man?
Or is he a weak man? Or what else did they say? If weak man, or if it's just
those are your options if you're in an open relationship.
They asking what does it mean to do that?
Yeah,
I think for sure to each his own. I mean, I think that everybody's circumstances are different. I think the toughest part is when you really get into labels and what you know, represents this or what represents that. Like, I don't know. I feel like generally if people are in open relationships, it's just best if people don't really know about it. I seen Neo walking around with 2 women. Apparently, like that's his thing right now. He's walking around with, you know, 2 women. You know, everybody has a different situation, right? But
Mhm.
I think the biggest thing is just when you get in the labels. I feel like I'll say this. I would like to find, I think, what we probably consider maybe like a true alpha male. And are there any true alpha males that have a like 2-way open relationship? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because,
because open relationships come in many different
well,
forms
I'm
and
just saying, right?
yeah.
Like I feel like an alpha male, I could be wrong, but I feel like an alpha male wouldn't want anybody to be sleeping with his woman, right?
Based off when you say alpha male, are we going off of nature?
Yeah, like the
Because a
normal.
lion doesn't like to have another lion. He gets to breed with all of the lionesses.
But what I'm saying is, when I mean alpha male, meaning like territorial, very, um, you know, I don't, you know, the whole bravado, confidence type of thing. Like I feel like certain. It's like I guess I watch enough television to feel like you don't never really want to put yourself in situations where people could say crazy stuff to you. And I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you're in a open relationship, those waters always get dicey depending on how much one person may be exercising their rights versus the other.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
because I'll say this, I will say this, and this is, I know a lot of people. I know Will Smith became very unpopular after the whole Chris Rock situation. But the one thing I will say is, right, like the whole Will Jada, like their names had been always circulating in Hollywood as far as like they
gold.
threw, well, no, they threw like crazy
They
parties.
were open. Yeah, they had like an open marriage.
They just threw wild parties. Like it was known that they threw some pretty, you know, pretty wild parties, right? Like, and so the reason why I say that is I feel like when Will Smith had the upper hand, it really wasn't that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as career. But then it like once his wife got the attention and she was now openly participating, then her behavior started getting judged. Right? But it's like, even though we all can sit here and go morally, right? Like, well, you know, messing around with your kids' friends and things like that. However, all this, all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, once what Shawan say, once the Pandora's box is open, it's open, right?
Mhm.
So once you open the door to we open, now you want to draw the rules and regulations to who we can be open with. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I
Well,
say,
I mean,
like,
yeah, you're right. You're right, Knox. You're right.
not to say that it's right or wrong,
No,
but
no, you're right.
Yeah.
you
Because
know, I
you invite things in and to like you to kind of respond. You said as an alpha male, because in I don't, you know, I'm me, you know, but
right,
so if I am responsible for your um to provide, to protect, um to guide, to prophesied over and be there for you, then yeah, you can't, it's already hard enough to do that. And what that comes with instruction, that comes with guidance, that comes with challenging, um and sometimes saying, no, we're not going to go that way, babe, or we're not going to do it that way. And you may say, the reason I'm not having you do that, yeah, you're an adult, you're grown, you're smart, But what it does is it opens you up to certain levels of attack or certain levels of turmoil within what we're trying to build. So we're not even going to open up that door to allow that to come in. Because sometimes the best way to stay out of a problem is not to get in the problem in the first place. I can't do that always, but you can. But let's take shots at doing so. So let's not put ourselves in situations where now we got to label what we were doing as an entanglement. Now people got to find out that you was messing with our son's friend, and because now you messing up what we got doing at Foundation. You know what I mean? Now it opens up the door.
That's why if you're gonna do it, there need to be rules and certain expectations, certain things you just don't do. But I also feel like open relationships are built for certain type of people too.
Yeah,
it's not for everybody. It's built for certain type of people. Like that's not for everybody.
No.
So you gotta know who you are, okay? And you gotta know who your partner is before you really step into that and start, because it can get real nasty and messy. But let's get into some of these comments because people got stuff to say.
Oh, okay, let's get it.
Ryan says ... Then he follows up with Then he follows up with, my issue is with I can have an open marriage, but he can't. If you're not happy with the partner you're with, then there's something you need to work out with your partner. Okay. Yeah. Pastor Short says, what you do in your marriage is between you and your mate, but in the Bible, it never ended for those who have multiple wives. I mean, stay single if that's what you're into. And I knew religion was gonna pop into this, but I feel like if you're religious, then of course your marriage is based on the Bible.
Hence why I said you can't be a part of Prosperity Baptist, and then if they have a criteria, then you can't come in and try to force that on them. There are individuals that look at the word of God as their premise, that's their benchmark, their values, their standards, and their principles, and the way that they're going to move, and they have every right to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I like Pastor Short's approach. He said he looked at it and said, okay, everybody who had multiple wives, they ain't into well.
Yeah, it didn't.
It didn't. And I think, so it was rough on him. It was rough.
Yeah.
Abraham. Oh, that's a good one. Even Solomon. That's a good one.
I think a lot of men think like, oh, they could handle an open marriage because they're thinking what they get out of it. They get to be with multiple women.
No,
I think when it comes to when they realize that their wife is actually with other men.
Listen, this is what I'm going to say. Let me say this
issue,
because this is going to direct it. I'm telling you, I'm going to drop the bomb. This is the damn problem. One, when we talk about marriage and relationships, people they make the mistake. I want to make sure I say it with as much emphasis as possible. The issue with relationships and marriage is everyone's looking at it from a romance standard. Romance has nothing to do with marriage. It's a problem. That's why it's trash and
nothing
raggedy.
To do, though. Nothing.
Listen, I just said the statement. I wanted to say it with impact. I know it has nothing to do with romance. Romance was brought into it as a marketing ploy. Marriage was really designed. It had structure to it. It had a purpose and a reason that was more business-like than it was anything with romance. Marriage didn't have anything to do with it. The way that it was originally constructed and when it was most useful and impactful and prosperous.
But we're not in those times no more. So I understand how where the foundation of it.
Are we in better times?
Let me say this real quick.
But now women don't have to get married for a business trade.
They don't have
if you don't
want to.
Because they actually want to.
They actually
want to because they actually like the person they're getting married to, not because their family is forcing them into it.
Why do 80% of them file for divorce then? If that's
let me say this real quick. Can I say this?
Stuff happens.
I think open marriages generally benefit a marriage when one person has some type of power to exercise, right? So, for example, people might be powerful, have influence, things like that. They might be in relationships with a mate who is willing to adjust how they feel or how they think, right? So, for example, like
That's a business arrangement, Knox. Is
no, no, no.
exactly what I
It's
just
not.
said.
It's not a business arrangement. It's a matter of I'm saying that because of the fact that you are who you are, right? Life has afforded you certain things at certain times,
You said if
right?
one person is more powerful than the other, right?
Right. But what I'm saying is we didn't have to come into this arrangement. This is just how it could be. You see what I'm saying? What I mean by that is this. I don't know how long they've been together, right? But I feel like if you always felt that way, then I would have known you felt that way from the beginning, right? But I feel like once you got to a certain level of success and you got comfortable enough with yourself to go, I could say this, but if I say this, you might leave, right? Now, if me and you are in a relationship where everything hinders upon what we do collectively, that may not be worth the risk, right? But if you Monique and you are the income and he's your manager, right? Then essentially you have the power dynamic in that relationship,
That's what I'm saying. Because
right?
you saying otherwise, if it was flipped, that wouldn't even be considered.
No, I'm saying even when it's flipped, that's the reason why it's flipped, right?
No,
Like when you
what I mean is even if he had equal access, or maybe he was, a celebrity as well, had the financial stability, he wouldn't even consider that. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying generally two people don't want open relationship, right? Like one might want an open relationship, and I really don't want that, but I don't feel like you wanting to sleep with other people is worth us separating,
Well,
right?
that's why I said partnerships, relationships, they're really broke, because I think there's a lack, like you thinking about it from the studies I've done. I've done done shows where we had individuals who have been in open or poly type relationships, and those who were actually in and they were on the show. And so the factors that really reign is the collaborative nature of the situation. Like if someone, it's almost like, you got one guy, two women, both the women work, the guy's the homemaker, or he facilitates things. It's and then the women were like, no, I really like, I don't want to be at the house. I like being in the corporate arena. I like what I do. I enjoy coming home and having him do ABC. But to supplement that, we live in, we got a whole extra income. We're good friends. We're cool, and we worked it out. His libido is an 8, mine is a 5, but I love all these other things about him. And so I don't have to be there for him. I care about these other things about him and appreciate these other things he brings to the table. I get him on 2 days. She can handle the rest of the 5. You know what I mean? And I'm fine with that. And so you have individuals, but if you think about that, it wasn't even about the romance. And I love him, but there's aspects of it that I benefit from because I'm in a open relationship or a poly type relationship. So it's really based off of the principles and the advantages of it, and not totally the romance.
Okay. So it was more business oriented, you would say, huh?
I'm telling you, it is.
Okay.
The reason it is in shambles and people
you mean it's supposed to be, not that it is, but that's how you feel it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be looked at more of a business arrangement, but it's not, which is why it ends up so much in divorce, is what you're saying.
And I think the romance comes after that. I think because to me, a strong relationship is when you go through things with a person and the trust is shown, the commitment is there, the lockstep. They've been supportive in a moment when I was vulnerable, and then they didn't throw it in my face. They didn't run me down. They actually helped me through it. Man, that would adorn you to a person to forgive you, to overlook transgressions, or be okay with your shortcomings, and then build you up and be supportive through those things. Man, that'll make you fight, steal, and kill for a person.
Right. For sure.
More than you being fine, or if you got good sugar box or anything else. That's why it's like, you get to a certain age and people, they love each other and they miss each other and they ain't having no sex. Ain't had sex in 10 years. You know what I mean? But you can't make one leave the other one and the other one won't leave the other. It's because they got some crossroads they've been through together. They got some life they live together.
Some real foundation.
Real foundation. They know they have something that nobody else in the world knows that they've been through, conversations they've had, triumphs they've had, failures they've overcome together. That's what brings you together. Not no damn romance because he told me I look good all the time, because he laid a pipe like Butler, or that he yeah.
Oh Lord, it must be time to go. Must be time to go.
Sound like some judgment and some hate right there, but I'm gonna overlook it because I had to do it a lot of my life.
What they be saying in Congress? Time, Congress.
It's not about that,
and
it's not about any money, and it's not about these sweet nothings. You know what I mean? It's about that
sweet nothings.
So it's about that real stuff that you had to go through. The alignment in achieving goals, and they've helped you get there mutually. And I think that's what it's really set off of. Can I contribute to them, and they can contribute to me? How have I grown because of being with them?
I do agree that a lot of marriages are formed that way. You know what I'm saying? Two people coming together that can make each other's life better, financially and grow together. I do believe that. I just believe that even in those situations, somebody do somebody wrong, and that's why the relationship ends. So just treat people better, do better in these relationships. You know?
Yeah.
You gotta treat each other right.
Yeah, I don't think you can get past that. You know what I mean? So that mutual respect has to be.
Yeah, because I'm not staying with nobody that's mistreating me.
Everything
and
I
getting
just
through
said,
it and shucking a job with them. I'm not doing that. Just to be like, we've been married for 30 years. Absolutely not. You do me wrong.
Yeah,
you do me wrong.
Everything I just said.
You made your bed.
That's built off of doing the other person right. That's about everything I just said. It intrinsically incorporates doing doing each other properly. Honoring and respecting each other.
Because you said transgressions, you said you get past transgressions and all that. Like, nah.
No, people.
Listen now.
No, you gonna have that. I'm not.
Listen now.
Now, what we're not speaking about, because we're not talking about details. And I'm not saying, man, you didn't win.
There's many types of transgressions. There are a number of transgressions. There's a lot of things that you can do to a person that are deal breakers. You know,
you have yours.
Yeah.
Other people have theirs. I can't speak on that. That's why I didn't even bring up any specifics.
Yeah.
Because that differs for people. But I promise you, if you build the foundation off of more of just romance and build it off of those very tangible things that I'm saying, you'll get past that stuff. I'm trying to tell you. You will.
Well, all my divorced people, is that true? Because I don't know if it is.
Yes. I'm telling you.
It's not.
and nothing is, and we can't speak. I can't speak 100% across the board. It's not a monolith. You know what I mean? But because I don't know everybody, I haven't talked to every divorced person or every long, married individual. But I have talked to quite a few people who have stayed married for decades. I have grandparents that have experienced that, uncles that experienced that, and on the other flip side, where they stayed, but they was like, man, as soon as these kids get grown up, I'm up out of here. And I've talked and I've asked questions.
But I also feel like with them older generations, it was a different time, and there was a different reason that people stayed in those relationships for so long, because they had to out of necessity. So it's different now. It's a different time now.
Women
and that's why the divorce rate is so high, because women don't have to stay in situations. They don't have to. They can leave. And believe me, if our grandmas and great grandmas could leave, they would have hit it. They would have been out of there.
Because at
they
that
time,
women couldn't even rent. They couldn't rent without a man.
Yeah.
They couldn't
get a job. They couldn't get a bank account. They couldn't do anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, they couldn't
nothing
save as well. Yeah.
Nothing. Not a thing. So it's different times, you know. And that's why I don't like when people use those times. And try to compare it to now. Yeah. Because it was a lot of stuff happening where it was a necessity for people to stay in those situations. And they were being mistreated. A lot of times they were, because there wasn't an emphasis on treating your woman well. Yeah, because it's a business. It's a business requirement. You just got to have a wife. You need to have a wife. I'm going to say this, though. So it wasn't a requirement to treat her well.
I'm going to say this, Adrian. You're absolutely correct. But damn, many times people can overcorrect. They overcorrect. There's a middle path in that. And you want to get to that sweet spot. And so that's what I try to advocate for. Because now it's like, nah, squeeze me out. Like, you got women saying, yeah, I'm going to get married. I want to be with the man. Yeah, I work now. I'm able to work now. I'm able to put my name on mortgage paperwork. I'm able to get a job. All those things that we said we couldn't do before, we can. But when I get with you, I want to be able to do all of that and have my money, but I'm not paying, but you paying for everything. I'm just going, what you going to do with your check and whatever I want to? Now, come on, man. That don't make no damn sense.
Yeah. Oh, we missed a comment. Hold on. Ryan said Abraham, Jacob, David, and Solomon. So I'm assuming that he's talking about the ones that had all the multiple wives and things and not in. Right. They ain't well for them.
Yeah, but Abraham's situation, that's like, dang, bro.
Yeah.
And that's a great lesson in being hard-headed. Learn how to be patient, listen to what you do, and quit listening to your woman, because you know that caused a lot of that problem. Go read it. I ain't gonna argue with nobody.
Well, on that note, people, we are so y'all joined us today on our mini conversations. We went through a roller. Yeah, we went through a roller coaster today.
Shout out to Ryan, man, always coming through, man. And then I don't know where my credit lady. She. I mean, I be wanting. She be making me laugh. I don't know where she went. She probably had to answer calls. Somebody messed up something. She had to go fix it.
She had to go. She on business.
Appreciate her always being here too, man. That's what's up.
And we appreciate all of you that are watching us on Facebook or watching us on YouTube, Roku. You know, we always appreciate the love. Continue to support us.
Hit the like button if you can.
Yes, Pastor Short said great conversation as always. Y'all be blessed. You be blessed too. Thank you so much for joining us. Man. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Y'all know what they are. We see them every week. Follow us, comment, leave us information. Follow the BS3 Network. Remember to support the BS3 Network and all of the platforms that's on it. You are bound to find something that you will like on there. So make sure you check us out. Guys, anything y'all want to add?
Man, I appreciate y'all, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all. It's another Wednesday in the books.
Yeah, man.
Another Wednesday. And on that note, we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Catching me is like catching a cold. I'm in the stretch rows and Melrose with Texas hoes. Shoes the size of Ice Cube, my necklace froze. 25 on the shoes, I'm dressed to pole. See everybody talking like they doing what we doing, but these brothers is rare and they ain't moving like we moving. And everywhere we go, when